Last Stop is a story-driven game that consists of 3 different narratives, which are all interesting in their own right, but never really interconnect with one another in an interesting or meaningful way. Each story focuses upon one of 3 different characters. The first story consists of a middle-aged single man who is trying to raise his daughter. He ends up swapping minds with his neighbour, who is a younger man who is also a game designer. They then have to bluff around each other's lives so that nobody uncovers what has happened to them, whilst also trying to raise their daughter and find a solution to get their minds swapped back into their own bodies. The second story consists of a career-driven woman who is trying to gain a promotion within a secret government organisation and is also having an affair on the side. The third story is about a schoolgirl and her friends who end up accidentally kidnapping a man who seems to have supernatural powers. Whilst also trying to keep the man a secret and discover what his powers are, the young girl's mother is also becoming progressively more and more ill as the story develops. Each story also has its own theme. For example, the middle-aged man is much more jovial and upbeat and comedic. The middle-aged career-driven woman is very serious, and the young girl has a supernatural undertone but also has a powerful emotional impact. At some point within the story, some of the peripheral characters from each story end up bleeding over into one another, and I was hoping that the stories would then start to actually become interconnected. Unfortunately, this actually doesn't happen, and I do feel that this was a bit of a missed opportunity. Whilst the main characters from each story do end up meeting each other, this is towards the end of the game, and it's contained within a science fiction-y type scenario that felt more like the obscure kind of conclusions you'd get to a Twilight Zone story than something that felt cohesive to this narrative. To be fair, the ending is somewhat in keeping with each individual story, however the conclusion is quite lengthy, and I feel that it did somewhat overshadow the brilliant stories that it already created for each story character. The majority of the gameplay is what you might expect for this type of game, with you having to make dialogue choices for your individual characters. However, the decisions that you make have almost no impact at all. Yep, sure, your character will respond with the decision that you've made, and the person that they're talking to will respond appropriately. However, as soon as this exchange is concluded, the game pretty much goes back onto the same narrative track that it wants to present to you. Literally, the only decisions that have any impact at all are the final decisions that you make for each character at the very end of the game, each decision leading to one of 2 endings for each individual character. Last Stop ultimately is okay. The lack of gameplay and the unsatisfying conclusion to what were otherwise great stories did somewhat mar the experience for me. However, if you do like these types of games, the individual stories up to a point are quite compelling.
Jack? I do look like him. That was his flat.
Why are you being so weird? Have you got some more of our post or something?
Can you let me in? I think I need to speak to your dad.
Okay, I guess you're not a stranger. He's locked himself in his bedroom.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh God! Oh God, what the hell has happened to me?
Hello? Are you okay in there?
No, I'm really not. I'm having a terrible nightmare. I'm horribly disfigured and fat and old!
All right. Tone it down a notch. My daughter's out here.
Who the hell are you? Why do you sound like me?
Just open the door.
Jesus H. Christ! You've stolen my body!